restoring Illinois to greatness. This is Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Policy Institute and hosted by AM 560's Dan Proft.
Dan Proft back with John Tillman, President and CEO of the Illinois Policy Institute. And John, interesting story this week about Facebook. I know you're a Facebook user.
Hey, you and I are Facebook friends.
I know.
Very close online.
Exactly. And
I like all your stuff.
Thank you very much.
Very witty.
Thank you for...
Show plugs are amazing.
Curator of my own content. And I appreciate the benevolence of the Facebook overlords allowing me to post what I post, because apparently that's not necessarily the case for everyone. This story this week about accusations from a former Facebook employee that Facebook essentially cooks the content to remove or minimize conservative content on their very influential trending topic section, and to elevate content that is of a left perspective, like, say, Black Lives Matter, because that fits their perspective, despite where topics are actually trending in terms of interest. And so a hue and cry, even so much as a letter from a congressional committee in the Senate demanding that Facebook answer some questions about how they curate content.
Yeah, they obviously have any right. They have every right to do this.
Right.
What the issue is that they're doing it in secret and saying they're not doing it. That's the part that's interesting. And it's never good for a business brand when you tell the public we are this way, we're good, truthful, and honest, and then we find out they're actually not. That's kind of bad for your brand identity. And I think there's a market opportunity. I keep waiting for the sort of either neutral or right of center Facebook. You know, somebody else to start trying to take on the behemoth. I'm sure there's lots of people out there trying, but I think it would be interesting. But Facebook is now a news distributor, and they have a different role in the marketplace than they used to, just like Google does. If you think about how public policy works, how politics works, whatever happens there gets ripe in culture. And that is why people who are making these decisions at Facebook are doing this. They're trying to shape culture. And I think it actually relates, ironically, to the Trump phenomena and even the Bernie Sanders phenomena, but especially Trump. People feel the system is rigged against them. They think the deal is cooked, to use your words. This is an example of how it gets cooked and why people feel disconnected. They feel that all the media and the cultural sort of channels of distribution of knowledge are out of sync with their lives, their daily lives. And this is how they do it, and this is how it happens, and that's why there's a rebellion going on.
Well, that's it. And one of the other things that this is reminiscent of is the Alinsky tactic to make the majority feel like their opinions are the minority, right, and to minimize the amount of people who are essentially trafficking in the content that where they share your perspective on a particular issue as compared to those that they're pushing to say, this is the perspective, this is the orthodoxy, this is where the majority of Americans or majority of free people are. And it turns out that that may not be the case. Now, it is interesting to note, as a news agency, like you suggest Facebook is, particularly the section, the guy who curates their content, the trending topics content, a guy named Tom Stocky, Clinton max out donor, Hillary Clinton max out donor.
Really? I'm so surprised.
Facebook employees, the same company that hired Robert Gibbs, Obama spokesman, when he left the White House, $114,000 in donations to Hillary Clinton. So it should be no surprise that this Facebook is coming from a left perspective. We know Zuckerberg's a man of the left, just as, say, CBS News is, where David Rhodes, the brother of Ben Rhodes, the foreign policy novelist for the Obama administration.
I prefer to call him an egoist, but go ahead.
Yeah, right. But he's the president of CBS News. I'm sure there's, complete and utter separation between, he and his brother as it pertains to how the administration is covered by CBS. So this is kind of baked in, but as you say, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't highlight it. The only thing I do have a problem, and I think this is where conservatives have an opportunity to provide some intellectual consistency. Senator John Thune's letter to Facebook demanding they answer all these questions, using the power of the state, the imprimatur of the state to demand answers to those questions, I thought was an overreach. The government has no business here.
I totally agree with that. I got a similar letter to that from Senator Dick Durbin about some work we and others did, and I, in Russian, said "niet," and a few other colorful words in my response to him, because the government has no role. This is up to the market to decide. If people don't like that Facebook is doing this, the word is out. People can stop participating. They can do something else. It's up to us to decide.